What is up, everybody? Welcome to Finding Demo Surf Fishing on a Wednesday. I know the lives will always go on Wednesdays. I find that works a little bit better, but it's always in good times. So you can find this tonight on Facebook, where it is Finding Demo Surf Fishing. You can also find it on Panhandle Surf Fishing. And then if you're on YouTube, you can find it through YouTube at Finding Demo Surf Fishing as well. Tonight's episode, we are talking to, if you look in that top, there we go. Yeah, there it is. Boop. Top corner there. We're talking with Ninja Tackle. That's right. We're talking to Matt Poole. He's got a lot of great information. And I mean, I want to embellish it more, but I'm not going to. So we're going to leave it be. Tonight's episode is sponsored by TrueBraid. Go over to truebraid.com and take a look at all the products he has for his lines. They are definitely spooled up on mine. I can actually say I'm very happy with it. I'm very comfortable with it. The lines are very well made. And yes, we will eventually have an episode with him as well. So, all right. Hope you got your pen and paper ready and you're ready to go because you're listening to Finding Demo Surf Fishing. Here we go. All right, here we go, everybody. New week. Everything is going to be friggin' fun. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Yes, the comments will be streaming. Yes, I will be reading them. Yes, we will eventually do back and forth on questions and answers. So if any of you want to ask questions, by all means, welcome to it. I will try to get to them. Yes, I do have my own questions. We don't change things around the way we normally do it. Everything still follows the same protocol. So JC, welcome. How you doing? Brian, good to see you. We got some more sponsors coming up tonight through the episode, and they will be named. As you know, we have that wonderful little bait check thing that happens every 25 minutes. But if you're watching this from the beach, I hope you're doing really well because it's the sunset bite, which means the fishing is going to be really good. All right. One bit of warning before I bring him on. We're both known to drop bombs in our phone calls. So if there's an accidental, listener discretion is advised. I wanted to at least put that out. So, all right, without further ado, because I see him smiling in the background, welcome to the show, Matt Poole.
What's happening, everybody? I don't know what this bomb thing is that we're talking about.
What bomb? What are you talking about? Man, it is good to see your face.
Thank you. I was gonna say I'm glad to be seen. I guess good to see you.
Do you feel seen? That is the question. Do you feel it?
Always.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, for those of you who've ever talked to Matt on the phone and never seen his face, here it is. And for those of you who've heard about his product, if you make your screen full screen and pinch in, you may notice some things in the background. And we will be talking about some of the things that are on the shelf right by his mohawk. Because there is a part of this one that goes with it.
Fish fin. We don't do mohawks anymore. It's called a fish fin.
That is right. I apologize. I will haze myself accordingly, sir. All right. So for those of you that have not heard of Ninja Tackle, we will definitely get into that. But in order to find all the information on Ninja Tackle, you can find his website, ninjatackleva.com, Facebook, Instagram, Ninja Tackle. Actually, your Instagram is Ninja Tackle VA.
I think so.
Okay.
I think
so you can find him all through there. He does post quite a bit, especially with things that are coming up. And if you missed out on his recent adventures with Bama Beach Bum in their recent fishing trip up to Cape Cod, there are some serious pictures there.
That was pretty epic. I mean, to be quite honest, that was, we caught fish every single day, and as soon as those videos drop, man, I can't wait to see them.
Oh boy, you and me both. Like Matt does a great job with his videos. Absolutely phenomenal, top notch, great stuff. This one's just going to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely some epic stuff, man. I mean, fishing with him is it's a blast. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's just his energy is infectious, so it's always fun to fish with him.
That's one thing I love about him, and I enjoyed that with our live podcast that we did. It was very interactive, fun. It's just I don't know. There was nothing bad about it. Everything about it was good information, and I know it was helpful to hell. I think anybody that mentioned it, a couple of comments I got were like, "Yes, this was big." So
Yeah, no, he's a wealth of information, and I know he's got his Salt Strong thing coming out. I think yesterday actually. So
yeah,
I
it
look forward
was.
to checking those out as well. So it's that'll be all your how to and everything that you really want to know on surf fishing. So I look forward to seeing what he's doing.
Well, all of us are on pins and needles. Okay, so our sponsor for tonight, I said again, is True Braid. He is in the comments. And Alex, I see that you posted the thing we talked about on the phone. You are welcome to fire it off at any given point if you so desire. Oh, ooh, it's my favorite, the blue and 30.
I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where'd you get that, man? Why do you have that?
Honestly, if you really want to talk about it, Alex reached out to me several months back and had a lot of questions, and I helped him with a few of his questions, and really just kind of took to the guy. And I like his product. I've been using it, and now we sell it. So that's it's a good sponsor to have for tonight.
Yeah, he is a great guy to talk to. I've thoroughly enjoyed the phone call I had with him. There was so much knowledge that he gave me. I was like, man, I should just recorded this whole conversation.
Yeah. He taught me a lot about braid. So we don't generally fish with it a lot where we're at. We're fishing with it a little bit more in certain situations, but he kind of turned us on to it. So we're gonna try it a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, you told me if I ever came with you to go fishing, especially if we went to North Carolina, I had to remove all braid from my line or from my reels, and the reasons why bad things happen.
No, I mean you can use it. I'm just not going to fish with you.
That's fair.
That's you can fish over there, but
fine. I'll move the mono.
There's just one place I won't take you with it. That's all there is to it.
That's fine with me. I've heard and I've been warned, and I'm already like, no, I'm good. I'll move over to mono. I have no problem with that.
Good choice.
So for those of you that are watching this live and they're kind of like, what the hell? This is actually how Matt and I talk on the phone. When we do talk, it's good.
It's very, very, very engaging.
It really is. We really don't have much dead air, and it just gets there. So let's get into the questions.
Let's fire away.
All right. What got you into the tackle game?
So I guess to try to take a long story and make it short, my dad got me into saltwater fishing for surf fishing almost 20 years ago. And then as time goes on, things progress. Meet friends on the beach. Met a guy that most people in my area, they refer to him as, they know him as Hoopty. For me, he's my beach dad. So strange guy, don't know him. He comes up to me. I've literally just snapped off and probably thrown 6 pieces of leads, 6 lures, rigs, whatever you want to call it, into the water. And he just comes up, talks to me out of nowhere, and asks me if I know what a shock leader is. I had no clue. I at this time I'm using my Walmart rod reel combo, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that's at the beginning part of my fishing. And so fast forward, he introduces me to a lot of his friends, and I start hanging out with people that catch way more fish than me. They know way more than I do, and they're all easily twice my age. So these guys teach me how to start making rigs. So I copy them, and then I start using them, and then I modify them. And then one thing led to another, where some of the guys, as they got older, it was harder for them to see and tie their own knots. So they asked me if I would do it for them, and they offered to pay me. Well, did that for a couple of years, and I'm like, well, you know, my stepbrother and I were, which by the way, his name is Matt as well. We're sitting on the beach one night, and we're about a 12 pack in, and that's where the great ideas come from. And
Best ideas come from
it's
that.
like, honestly, I was like, dude, we could do this. I said, well, why don't we start a tackle business? I mean, the idea in the beginning was do enough to where we could pay tournament fees and travel costs and things like that. So, and then things just continued to progress. So that's kind of what got me into the tackle game, was the love and passion for fishing. And obviously I was making good stuff for some of the older guys that I was fishing with, because they liked it. They were catching fish with it. And I figured, you know, hey, it works. You know, how can we take it to the next level? So we did. And you know, Hoop's been a big part of everything that we do. He's very much a face of the company in the Outer Banks for us. And then I picked up a couple of mentors along the way, some people that have been doing this from a business standpoint for a long time. Joe Moore, One More Cast. I don't know if you've heard from him. I know you've heard me mention his name before, but you know, that guy taught me a lot of the stuff that I didn't know, hooked me up with other brands that we sell. And even Pompano Rich, he kind of helped us in the beginning with being able to promote our brand down on the east side of Florida for the first couple of years. So you know, and then things progressed. So, but as far as what got me into it, losing a bunch of stuff in the water, and then meeting the right person, and being with the right people, and drinking the right beer. So
the right beer. Oh, that's pretty funny. Well, I mean, the right beer does matter. So
yeah, if it wasn't a 12 pack, it wasn't a good idea. So we wouldn't have done it.
All right. So I guess this question's answered, but we can throw it in there. Why tackle and not something else?
Tackle was something that, for me, it gave me the opportunity to keep me close to what I loved. You know, growing up fishing ever since I was 4 years old, ponds, lakes, rivers, saltwater, wherever I could get a chance to fish is where I would fish. So tackle, honestly, was just kind of the natural selection of things to do that kept me even closer to honestly what I love doing.
Now, tackle has moved a smidge, and we will get to that. I can't wait to talk about it. I know it's not on here, but I'm excited. What does so as far as Ninja Tackle and the shop, what does your tackle shop cover for gear?
So for gear, you can kind of see tackle related wise, honestly, in the backdrop behind me. Here. I think it's here. So, somewhere here. So yes, but we cover a wide range of rigs, just high-low rigs. And that's what got us started. Honestly, we started with 4 rigs. We had some tackle shop managers and owners. They helped us in the development of a lot of what we have. And then it just progressed from there to, I think we've got 20 some different rig options at this point. And then obviously we have our line of dagger rods. And then we have our own line of hooks, swivels, some terminal tackle. I've even custom designed a couple of swivels at this point. It's a lot of just kind of finding loopholes and listening to the end users and listening to the, I wish I had, or I wish this was this way. Well, I listen to it and then figure, well, can I do it? And if I can, I do.
Yeah.
So
you've definitely been one of the few that I've known that have, I mean, you've asked me several times after things, well, what would you do different? What would you like better? And you really listen and try to adjust.
I would like a little bit more of the freedom to be able to listen more. Like I want to move faster than I can actually move. So sometimes I'll have to jot down ideas. You know, one thing I'm really grateful for is, again, going back to Joe Moore and some of the product line, it's being able to carry the line of Akias products, the rods, the reels, being involved with them. I really, like, I want to do more, but I have to sometimes reel myself back in and scale it so that I can slowly progress into whatever new idea or whatever new product that I want to roll out is.
And I think you bring up a really cool point here, because that's something, if no one's ever been to Ninja Tackle, va.com, there's a lot of other things in there besides Ninja Daggers or the rigs. You have a full shop of other things.
Yeah, I mean, we have lures, we have line, reels, rods. That's one of the most interesting and fun things that I've had doing this, is making relationships with vendors, finding products that they have, that they work, and seeing if I can bring them under my umbrella. And I love talking to people and trying to bring that stuff in. And to me, that's kind of what fuels part of my fire, is establishing the relationships and bringing new things in.
True Braid just made a pretty good comment that I have to bring up.
What did he say?
Matt said, people ask me about braid on my website. A week later, he ordered True Braid. I'd say you move pretty fast.
Yes, full disclosure, I did. I got like 2 phone calls, a couple of emails one week, and I get it from time to time with braid, but it just, I happened to see True Braid pop up, and I was like, what is this? So we ended up talking to each other, and yeah, he's right. It was about a week.
Hey, it works.
I mean, he's got a good product. It was readily available. Price points are good. It's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, why not offer it to people?
Yeah. I think that, and the other part too, I mean, hell, you got what? You got that box in before you came down here for the tournament. And you had what? Did you have one of the rods spooled up with it? I can't remember which one it was.
For me, I think it was my 9-foot rod.
Yeah.
I was expecting, not knowing really what kind of fishing we were going to get into. I mean, I know we were down there for a tournament, but I also know that anytime Bama is hanging around, we could be here one minute, here the next minute. So there's a lot of walking, and so I was ready to go. I mean,
yeah, and you guys brought nice 4 to 6 foot waves with you. We appreciated that one.
Don't worry, we took them home with us when we left.
We did, because literally the day after you left, the surf went back down to, what was it, nearly flat. So I'm sorry as we kind of sidebar on this conversation for everybody. We fished in the 2022 Pompano tournament hosted by Perdido Blaine and Lost Key outdoors, and out of nowhere, the surf went from normal panhandle 1-2 footers, nice spacing, to 4s, 6s, where we were throwing 5-ounce Sputniks and more to just keep it stuck.
So, full disclosure, John, he's on a lot of the videos with me with Bama. He's generally fishing with me a lot. We literally showed up to Gulf Shores at, I want to say it was around midnight. Dead wind, everything. The weather was great. We didn't sleep there at all. Like, we took naps, and we took a nap. We woke up about 3 or 4 hours later, literally 20-mile-an-hour winds plus for the rest of the week. I mean, and it started an hour before we hit the beach.
Yeah.
So
speaking of we. Yeah. Oh no, not that one. How'd you get in there so quickly, John? Poor John.
Yeah, see, that's we were told from the beginning. It was hey, you don't really need anything more than 1 ounce, maybe 2 ounces on a really bad day. So we literally came down with a bunch of 1/2 ounce egg weights, 1 ounce pyramid weights, 2 ounce weights, thinking that's the heavy stuff. Yeah, we had to buy new weights when we got there. So all of our heavy weights that we're used to fishing with, we left at home.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to say any names, because that would probably be bad for Bama if I did mention him. We didn't need that stuff.
Not saying.
We didn't need the heavy tackle. We needed the light tackle.
Oh. Yeah, that was
Sorry, Matt, I love you.
Yeah. Somebody commented here, 6-ounce Sputniks. Yeah, it was a good one. Now, it's cool that you bring up the 6-ounce Sputniks. Unfortunately, your name didn't come through, so I couldn't say who you were. I don't know how it's something to do with the sharing. But let's talk about that, because the Ninja Dagger, renowned for being able to go 8 and bait. That was one of the things that you had told me in the beginning. 8 and bait all day over here. And I'm like, I'm not throwing 8 ounces here. That's just insane.
Yeah.
But you had told me, like, yeah, this rod throws 8 and bait. And I never understood it until kind of on this one. Oh, hey, Larry. How you doing? Good to see you. Always love Larry. So when we were playing on that one, when I first threw the Ninja Dagger, was Tony from Fish Gums. He let me take it out as when I was writing reviews and learning more. And I remember texting. That's when you and I first had our first interaction. Like, what is this voodoo? Because I was throwing other rods, but the Dagger was throwing me 110, 115 on 4 ounces. Like it was nothing. It was seamless and flawless. So at 4 ounces, life was good. Doubling it to 8 ounces with bait to launch. You guys do that routinely on the East Coast.
So depending on what we're fishing for, but yeah, it's like if we're going after drum on the point or something like that, it's generally 8 and bait. It's not uncommon for us to have to be able to throw 8 ounces to be able to hold. And Sputniks are not a very common form of weight that we use. So it's a lot of pyramids, eggs, frog tongues, things like that. So we understand that with pyramid or with not pyramid, but with Sputniks, less weight can hold like it's heavier.
Right.
On the flip side to it is some of the types of rigs and some of the style and fishing that we do, it kind of gets tangled up in your rigs. So we just throw the heavier lead and we don't have to worry about the wire doing it. And it's not to say that people don't use it. It's just not the most common piece of lead that we use. So we do have rods that have to throw a little bit heavier weight. So
what made you want, I guess, well, let us back up because I want to talk about the Dagger, but I want to get into the history of it first. You started out as tackle, and then all of a sudden you started creating rods. Now, the story for why you started creating rods, I don't know if you want to tell it.
Yeah.
Okay, so do that. Why did you start making rods, Matt?
So going back to, I firmly believe, I think everybody, if you're trying to do something, it doesn't really matter what it is, have your mentors. If you have a good mentor, then you have a good mentor. So my mentor, from the business aspect, again, going back to Joe Moore, he's helped me immensely with a lot of things. I told him, I said, I got an idea and I think I can make this work. I want to develop my own line of fishing rods. Immediately he goes, "You're an idiot." And I was
I love that.
like, I mean, no hesitation. And 80 at the time, I guess he was 80, 82, 83 years old. Just before I can finish my sentence, "You're an idiot." I'm like, so, okay, hold my beer. So just thank you for that bit of advice. So then we developed our rods. About a year or two later, things are going well. I went back to him and I asked him, I said, "Did you know that by telling the kid not to put his finger in the light socket, that I was the kid that was going to put the finger in the light socket? Like, did you tell me not to do it because you knew I was going to do it?" And he starts laughing and he goes, "Yep."
Yeah. That's how you know you have a good mentor right there. They know you, they know your personality, they know what will move you in the right direction to continue.
He did. And I mean, he pushes me. He does push me, but it's without it, I can't say that we would be totally where we are, at least from a foundational standpoint, for sure.
No. Well, before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, we're at 24, almost 25 minutes. This is your first bait check. Unfortunately, I don't have the sound effect put into this live feed because I'm lazy and I didn't do it last time. Sorry. But 25 minutes, it means for you, if you're listening to this, when you are listening to it on the replay, 25 minutes, first bait check. And your first bait check is brought to you by The Sinker Guy. Go to his website, thesinkerguy.com, where you can pick up sinker supplies, rigs, and a whole bunch of other things. He's got a lot to go for you to help get more fish with gear. So, there you go. First bait check done. Continuing on. So, okay, Joe, got you there. Got it. Yep. Now, how did your brain connect? I'm going to make rods. I'm going to make a dagger. How did you come up with the concept?
So months and months and months of research. So like anything else that you do, you can dive almost as deep into the rabbit hole as you want to go. So I started educating myself on fishing rods from, what are they? It's let's start from a completed product and, well, where did it come from and what are the steps and how are they made and things like that. So I did that, and then I actually went and started talking to end users, tackle shop owners, tackle shop managers, and started asking them, hey, what is it that's not on your shelf? What is it that, where's the gap on your shelf? And what price points do we need to be in from quality to end user? And I got a ton of help. One big one, I know there was a guy, Jam, he used to work, Teaches Lair down in Hatteras. He was pretty good with some of the information, but I know some of the guys at Frank and Fran's, and these are shops that are local to where we fish. They helped. Rod and Gun, the owner there, he kind of sat down with me and really told me where to fill the gap. So then I started working backwards. Took what I learned from research and then started finding manufacturers, working on samples, working on different compositions, how they're constructed, weights, lengths, diameters. I mean, you could go on about an entire conversation with this, but we finally found a really, really unique blend that gave us what we wanted with the quality of the components that we needed. The rest of it after that was really start working with the design and the color schemes. So, but we figured calling it the Dagger, it's like, well, we call ourselves Ninja Tackle. So, keeping things kind of in line with ninjas, I guess.
I mean, why not?
It just works, I guess.
Okay. I never even that part. Didn't even know that part. I don't know why I didn't know that. I should have known that. Anyway. All right. So the Dagger itself, it is, describe the rod for somebody that doesn't have one yet, please.
So on a shelf, you'll find a lot of 9 foot, 10 foot, 10 foot 6s. And then for whatever reason, it just jumps to 11s, 12s, 13s. So the whole real market of 11s really wasn't there. There's very little competition in an 11-foot market. Not that they're not out there. It's just not many. So we started working with it, end users, and just going with prototypes. So we tried different lengths, and then we realized for an average fisherman that we found, and average is a loose term, but an average fisherman had a hard time controlling a 12-foot or anything bigger than 11. So for an accurate cast for a beginner, a novice, somebody that goes on vacation X amount of times a year, and that's the only time they get to fish, 11 was a great way to maintain accuracy, get your distance, and still have fun and not be a cumbersome rod that required a lot of extra practice. So then working it into it being like a 2 to 7 ounce rod, where 3, 4, 5 is the sweet spot for it on a good calm day, fishing for whiting, flounder, drum, your 10 pound and less fish, pompano, it kind of served an all around purpose. But that's our staple rod, is the 11-foot rod. That's what we started with.
And you've been able to move it around. So most of the rods that all come out, you've got different variation of sizes. And I need to pause for a second here. Richard White, I see your comment, waiting on a Dagger bass rod. I will say this. I won't walk away from this podcast until it's over.
Hey, Richard, stick around for a little while, buddy.
Mm-hmm. John, patience. I mean, we may have something to talk about here in a little bit. But anyway, all right, so the Dagger fit in that one on the 11. You have the 12s.
Yep.
11 being the staple. And then the range of weight, 3 to 8, 3 to 9? can't remember.
So the 12 will go up to 3 to 8, but like any rod, you have a minimum and a maximum. So 3 to 8, it'll handle 8, it'll throw 8 if that's something you need it to do, but it's not going to be its optimum performance throwing 8 and bait. It'll do it. I've thrown 12 ounces on them. Honestly, I think John was there when we were doing it. Didn't go very far, but it's all I had, and well, I mean, it was either going to work or it wasn't going to work. So, but yeah, your low number being your minimum load rating, your high number being your maximum load rating. So the closer you get to the middle of your high and low, that's going to be generally your rod's sweet spot. Mm-hmm. So again, 5 ounces for our 12-foot rod, that's an easy weight for an average person to fish with. And that's, I mean, kind of where it goes.
Yeah. And the cool part about your rod series, I mean, you can do a whole bunch of different things with it. It's not just a set rig rod. It's light, mm-hmm. It's comfortable. You can still do other things with it.
Yeah. So we've definitely used the 11s for casting any kind of lures off the beach. It gets a little heavy after, 15, 20 casts. It'll do it. It's good at it, but it'll kind of fatigue you a little bit quicker. That's why we came out with the 9-foot rods. So once we had our 11s, then we went to our 12s, and we started working back down and went to the 9-foot 1 to 4 ounce rod, because that's something that you could use sound side. It was something that the guys in the Gulf could use a little bit more with the lighter weights. And then it came a versatile rod to being able to cast out lures as well. So you could use it both ways. And then, of course, the next rod that came in sequence was the bummy stick, and took the bummy stick over some stuff that I had learned for a while. And the bummy stick, being a 10-foot rod, filled our gap, but it also, we did a few things a little bit different with it that I wanted to experiment with, and it does really well. But great set rig if you're trying to throw 1, 2, 3 ounces. Also a great rod for if you're trying to throw top water plugs or what are these? ES lures.
Yes, lures. Love the ES lures.
So, but yeah, so we try to, again, not being a very big company. Obviously, we work from our home out of a garage. We have to grow at a sustainable rate. So we try to fill gaps where we can fill gaps, and it's a slow process, but it's methodical.
Nice. Well, I will. The 9-foot, I got one. I love that rod. It is one of my favorites for slinging. I will definitely say that. It went very well with my ES lures that I picked up from you at the tournament. I was like, this thing casts good. It's definitely thrown. I've thrown it with that one, my GI jigs, and a Halco popper. Big Halco. Just because I took it out there. Justin and I went out for a morning walk, and we did the morning run, and he was like, I'm going to throw this Halco. And he's like, ooh, you're going to love it. And I was like, I hope so. On the 9-foot, it was great. It flew far, came back nice. Everything about it was perfect.
Yeah, we used the living bejesus out of them while we were in Cape Cod. I know John and I did. We were having to throw some heavier lures and some heavy current, and we were catching some pretty big fish on those things.
Okay. Well, I had a nice big black drum on my 9-footer from the surf, and it was a great fight. So mm-hmm. I know that rod's good. You can't hurt it. I'm all good with it. Well, you bring up something there, so let's move back in here. So you worked with Matt Isbell, aka the Bama Beach Bum.
That's right.
On his line of rods, the bummy sticks. So you mentioned it already, but tell us about the bummy stick. And you, like you said, there was some other gaps, and you did some other things with it. You took some chances. Tell us about the bummy stick and what got you there.
So, first and foremost, Matt, working with him and just being able to connect with him for the past several years has been awesome. It really has. I just can't say enough nice things about it. We've been very fortunate. He helped us even catapulted us a lot faster in the direction that we wanted to go. So I came up to him one day and I asked him, I said, Matt, I have a couple of ideas. I want to try something different. Will you let me design a rod for you? And he goes, yeah, man, this is a great idea. Let's do this. And he goes, what are you thinking? So we spitball some ideas back and forth. And I wanted to come up with a slightly different blank composition. I wanted to come up with a textured blank, which there's science behind why it's textured and what textured gives us in return. But I wanted to play around with something a little bit lighter, that would be more conducive to the kind of fishing that he does, which is a lot of walking, a lot of casting. So I just incorporated some of those different ideas. I really got to play with the color schemes and matching his logo, which to me was a lot of fun. And his input was involved in it the entire time. So it was really a collaboration of him kind of asking me, well, what do you think? Me giving some suggestions and going from there. Got our prototypes. We beat the living crap out of them and made them do things they weren't meant to do. And it was, and the bummy stick was born.
How long is the bummy stick?
10 foot.
Okay.
10 foot. And the good thing about that is in most of our other dagger rods, they're all 60-40 splits. So we're kind of working with that, maybe seeing if we can draw that back to a 50-50, just because we do get comments about it's not as easy to travel with when the two sections aren't the same length. So that being another thing that the bummy stick gave us was an option to make it a little bit more travelable, being a 50-50 split. So that's 10 foot, 50-50.
There's always adapting and always making things better. Fine. Yep. Fine.
Try to. I mean, I just want to keep figuring out if what I can do better.
Yeah. Well, let's move away from Ninja Tackle for a minute, because these are the questions that weren't written on your paper that I've had written for a long time. Back when my episodes were not exactly as in depth, and now they're much more in depth. So let's talk about you when you go out fishing. What do you do when you're planning to go fishing? How do you plan it?
So ultimately, it depends on where I'm going and what I'm going for. I learned a long time ago that prepping for whatever it is that you're doing before you do it always seems to work out better. So if I'm heading to Hatteras, I have a certain set of gear that I use for going to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. If I am running down the street and I just want to kill some time and maybe go catch some smallmouth or shad when they're running or something like that, then I'll take whatever rods or lures or whatever it is that I need for there. But prepping, unfortunately, with being able with running the business, prep time is normally, you look at the watch and it's the weather. Yeah, it's like I don't see any clouds. It's not raining. I got a couple hours. Let's go find something to do.
Okay. So the prep goes that route. All right. So you get to the beach. You got your setup. What are you looking for to set your gear up to start fishing?
Depending on the time of the year and what time I get to the beach, since we can drive on the beach, can I find a place to park?
I hate that about you.
If we get there early enough, then I've seen a lot of really good videos. It's no different for us in the Outer Banks than I see the guys that are looking for cuts and holes and sloughs and troughs and deeper water and things like that. I look for the same things. And there's a lot of really good videos out there that explain in depth. I think, is it salt squatch? Sorry, I can't ever say that right. But I've seen some of his short videos, and he's showing you what to look for. Bama's even got some of them, and I know for a fact if you go to his Salt Strong thing, and I swear I'm not being sponsored to say it. That's what it is. But if you go to his tutorial for Salt Strong, I know for a fact they flew drones over certain areas to give you things to look for. So, if we're tournament fishing, it's a lot of low tide, going out at low tide. Our tide fluctuates a lot more than y'all's tide did. Yeah. John and I were looking around saying, is it high tide, low tide? And everybody's like, why does it matter? And we're like, well, is the water going to go anywhere? And the water didn't go anywhere. Our water, we can have 3 to 5 foot differences. So that being said, we drive around during low tide a lot, looking for bars, looking for cuts, looking for holes. and we mark them, and then we go back.
Yep. Okay, so you got the rips, all that stuff. Tides being the big piece for you there. Okay.
Yep.
So you found your perfect ideal spot. Now you're gonna go. So you normally fish how many rods? 4?
If it's tournament, yeah, 4.
Okay, but if it's just a regular day for you?
Regular day, 2 or 3.
Okay.
2, 3, sometimes none. It just sometimes I honestly sometimes I just like watching other people catch fish, or I will literally walk up to somebody that I see having a hard time catching fish, and I know fish are there. Something like that, True Braid.
He's there. The salt squatch is here.
Sorry about that one, but yeah. So, to be quite honest, I really do enjoy. I keep a box of rigs and terminal tackle in my truck. It's called my giveaway box, and I will literally walk up to people that are having a hard time catching fish and try to help them catch fish. For me, sometimes that's just as enjoyable as me catching it myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's something to be said about helping people. It's that in itself is some of the best days when you see somebody struggling, you see them catch a fish, and I'm like, hey, good job.
Yeah. I mean, I've diffused arguments before with people by walking up and helping them catch fish, and for me, it's that is almost just as enjoyable.
Good man. You're always a good dude. All right, so we got the rods out. Before you set the rods out, what is your normal setup? So by that I mean rigs, bait, sinker. How are you set up, and how do you throw yours as far as planning? Are you how do you stagger your lines?
So believe it or not, I stagger my lines with my rods. So I take my 9-foot, being a shorter rod, I fish that a little bit closer. I like to fish right there on the back of the bar. I know sand spikes are something that is a big thing for us. We are very partial to over the wave sand spikes right now. Super sturdy aluminum sand spikes. Just a lot of options for you there. I think you saw them. We were fishing with them when we were there with you. So we'll set up our sand spikes. I have to say it's one of the funniest things when we went and fished with Matt somewhere in Florida. John and I are setting our sand spikes maybe 5 yards apart from each other, which that to us is not uncommon because we park close to each other, so we fish our rods close. Matt yells at us from down the beach, and he's like, no, spread them out.
10.
Yeah, 10. And so it's John and I remember looking at each other, and I said, John, if we spread them out that far apart, I said, that means we got to run that far to go get the fish.
Exactly. That's the hidden joke about this whole area of stacking your rods further apart is we have to run, and it sucks.
Yeah. So, but we did, which it was kind of, we didn't think about it because there was really nobody else near us, so there's no reason not to do it. But so I'll stagger them about 5 yards apart from each other. I'll take my 9-foot rod, generally throw that short somewhere between literally in the wash. If there's a drop off right there where the waves are breaking, I like to cast one right there. If more than likely I'm fishing in a deep trough, so then I'll cast one there, use my 11-foot, kind of go medium distance with that, and then the 12-foot I'll literally just, if I can get it in front of the bar, on the bar, behind the bar, or in the middle of the cut or the side of the bar on the cut or something like that, I just let it rip. Okay. And then I always keep a 4th rod ready to go for in case some blues or Spanish or something like that just start busting the water, so that we can just immediately just go straight casting to them.
So when you're out playing North Carolina, and I talk about Hatteras, Outer Banks, those pieces there, and I know you have a wide variety of fish you can target. What are you normally playing with as far as rigs go? Are you doing double drop, single drop? Are you doing cut bait? Are you doing artificial? Where do you roll? So
it depends on what I'm targeting. So like this time of the year, I'd be targeting either some puppy drum. Really, I want to target some whiting, some pompano. So I'm going to be fishing some high-low rigs. My personal favorite rig that I use out of our arsenal, believe it or not, is called the Hoopty. It's our rig. It's just an oversized version of our rig. It's just a bigger version of it. So, if I want to look for any puppy drum, or if we're out there drum fishing, obviously we'll use cut bait, single hook. We'll use one of our drum rigs that are set up on a cannonball style rig. But as far as bait selection, my first go-to is always going to be sand fleas, which seem to be a little bit more readily available in our area than your area.
That was a bad week. It was a bad week.
Man. We don't have ghost crabs, so we can't go look for those. If we do have them, I've never seen anybody find them, use them, or talk about them.
Yeah.
And then if I can't do that, then I'll go with an artificial. It's one of my favorite setups is I like to use a combination of both your most popular artificials that are out there, small pieces of each one on a hook, and I've done very well doing it that way, mixing the two baits.
Okay. All right. Makes sense right there. I got to ask, you got a cannonball rig behind you by chance?
I do, in a package.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, we can post it up. It's all good. I just, when it's something that I know a lot of people down here are not, they're going to be like, what the hell's a cannonball rig? So the easiest thing to say is go over to Matt's page, ninjatackleVA.com. You'll see the cannonball rigs. They're pretty cool.
It's kind of like a fish. It's like a fish finder rig. I mean, to be quite honest, it just doesn't have a lead. It gives the option for the bait and the lead to cast out, and why they call it a cannonball. It casts out in like a ball form, so it's not helicoptering in the air. And then when it hits the water, it gives the option for the bait to be able to move, give it a little bit of slack, and the bait can move in the water.
And see, when you mentioned a great point right there with the cannonball rig, because I didn't know this until you told me about it. That helicoptering thing is a real, it's a real pain. Yeah. And that rig basically takes that problem out of the equation.
Pretty much.
It really helps. I mean, you could still helicopter it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's still a very solid, useful rig. And you can fix that with, hell, you've used it with all the sinkers. You've used it. You normally go with what? The Hatteras sinkers on those, don't you?
The pyramid, just standard pyramid style?
Yeah, what are they? The bank or not bank sinkers? Storm sinker? I think we call them.
We use a lot of pyramids.
As
far as the sinkers go.
Okay, I thought you were using storms for some reason. I think it was because I saw those funky ones that you had. When you heard the term, like, what the hell is that thing?
Yeah, a buddy of mine, he our rod builder Tim, honestly, he will make his own lead weights, and he has a bunch of different types of molds. So he does the storm sinker. It's kind of a unique look, like Elon Musk's rocket ship.
It did. It was rather phallic.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like.
Everybody's gonna have to be like, what is this? Like, don't worry, we'll post some stuff. It'll be fine. Oh, okay. You get a lot of social media tags, which, as you should, especially with the daggers and the bummy sticks. What has been one of your favorite reported catches on the rods?
One of my favorite is she used to work at Frank and Fran. She was kind of on that mentor status as well. She had a lot of really great ideas. We made a post about her not too long ago. She unfortunately passed away, but she was probably one of our biggest fans from the beginning with our rods. And she calls me up, sends me a picture one day, and I want to say it was a 45 or 48 inch red drum that she caught on our 11-foot daggers. She loved using our product. She loved supporting us. And that was probably one of the favorite catches I've ever seen. And I actually have it posted up. We kind of wrote something up about it once she passed not too long ago, but that picture is probably one of my favorites. And then a lot of everything else that blends in after that is I love any picture that's sent to me where it's a parent and a child has caught a fish. That they all equally are just as unique as from one to another.
Yeah. It's all about that, man. It's you can't complain when the kid's just rocking it out with the gear. There's nothing wrong with any of that.
No, it's I love the parents' enthusiasm. Uh, they want to share it. They want to share their experience with me. So as far as a specific catch, it's those. Recently, I guess it was Brant. He had caught some big rare. What was a scallop hammerhead? I think it was on one of our rods.
Okay.
That's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never caught one, so.
Oh, well, you're gonna have some fun ones then, because I know there's some more coming.
Oh, good.
Not gonna say anything. Anyway, there you go. That being said, hey, it's 50 minutes into the game. All the noise in the background, drag sounds and noises. It is now your second bait check. So if you're listening to this, make sure you have checked your bait. If you're listening to this, which is probably not right now, because I don't think you're at the beach watching this, you're probably not watching your rods if that's the case. That's a problem. So go take a look, make sure your bait's good to go. This bait check has been brought to you by Deerfield Fabrication and Welding. If you haven't heard of them, our webpage is deerfieldfabandweld.com. They have been kind of taking quite a storm on social media with sand spikes, carts, a whole bunch of welding and manufacturing. I could talk about it for a long time, but I'm not going to, because there's more to come on that for later. But go take a look at that, and thank you for sponsoring this bait check. We appreciate you. Being an online only shop, no brick and mortar, people have to order from you on there. Has it limited your business at all?
At first, yes. Not being a brick and mortar, I wasn't allowed to sell any of the name brand items, Daiwas, pens, anything like that. Hindsight, no, it actually made us better. And the reason that I say it made us better is because it forced me to establish relationships with people that create a product that not everybody else is selling. And I'm really I'm thankful that it worked out that way, just because it's given me a bigger opportunity to just do something that the other people aren't doing. And I'm not competing with any of my local shops. I can be a wholesaler and a retailer at the same time and not create any bad blood. And so honestly, I think that's how that was supposed to work. I just didn't know it at first. And then once I kind of had that aha moment and the light bulb went off and, the mohawk went higher, it was just kind of like, oh yeah, okay.
Fish fin.
The fish fin, right, the fish fin. So
I can't believe you call it that.
So we're bringing them back, man. We got to call them something new.
Bro, I told you I will grow the friggin' Polish mohawk. I will go down the sides. If I could, I will look like that guy from Prodigy. I would do it. Jen might not like it.
Do it. The toilet bowl is going to be the new thing.
It's what it would be. I mean, there's nothing back here, man. It's
so, but yeah, not having a brick and mortar, no. And I like the fact that it doesn't necessarily tie me down. It gives me a little more freedom to be able to help out my wife, my daughter, things like that, here at the house, things that haven't been in corporate America for so long. I wasn't able to do. So not having to report to a tackle store at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's actually worked out better.
Yeah, it's been nice that you moved. It was fun we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Now, you bring up your daughter, which is a perfect segue into a partial part of this conversation. So not only is it Ninja Tackle, it is also Ninja Tactical.
Yeah.
I do it every time. I shouldn't, but I do. It's also Ninja Tactical. You've also moved into optics and weapons series, a whole bunch of that. You got a whole bunch of optics sitting right above your dome there.
Yes. So
tell us about that.
So about a year ago, daughter decides that she doesn't want to play softball anymore, which was great for us because honestly, it created more friction than anything. So I was happy to hear it. Then she was also in dance, and she didn't want to do that either. And I told her, I said, well, you're not gonna You're not going to sit around and do nothing all summer. She's like, well, Dad, I don't like fishing like you do. And I said, we're going to find something a little different. She's like, well, I don't like hunting like you do. And I was like, sometimes walking 15 minutes to a stand to sit for 4 hours, not what I'm talking about. She's like, well, what are we going to do? And I said, I don't know. So a buddy of mine, a childhood friend of mine since most of my life, honestly, calls me up one day and he goes, hey, do you want to learn how to not suck at shooting? I was like, well, I thought I could shoot. You've got my attention now. So he goes, all right, bring you and your daughter out. Let's go do something. Within 30 minutes of a 2.5-hour session with him, I realized within that 30 minutes, I knew nothing about shooting. So fast forward, my daughter gets into it. Her and I start taking a lot of training courses together. She turns out to love it, extremely passionate about it. I'm still learning about it at this time. So I use the fact that we're an outdoor sports company to our advantage and start setting up more relationships with other suppliers and vendors for things that she's going to need. Because honestly, I mean, if I can get it a little bit cheaper and promote some brands, why not?
Yeah.
So, and then one thing led to another, and we found out that in this world of shooting parts and gun parts and optics and things like that, it's a great world to be part of. There's a lot of people out there that they really like to share, and when they find something, and again, I try to incorporate the same thought process with being able to have the products that I have here. Is I'm not competing with somebody that's down the street from me. I try to carry things that nobody else has, things that are popular, hot on the market, but people want them now. They don't want to wait. And so we established a lot of relationships with people in that industry the exact same way we did it with the fishing industry. And it seems to work.
Kind of this comment right here. She really is. She's become quite a shooter. She's done very well competitively.
So full disclosure, that's my sister. I see you, Mikey.
So you have put it all together. So she's into this, and you've expanded the business as well into the tactical side.
Yeah.
And you're selling it. Are you still running it? You're running it through a different site though, right?
No, it'll all be on the site. It's going back to that whole, I should have done it more scaled. I got a little over excited with my opportunities that I had in this world. So I ordered a lot of stuff. And it's not all on the website yet. It's a project that was supposed to be completed 2 months ago, but it's not. So it'll all be on the same site. It just, we kind of run it under a Ninja Tactical instead of Ninja Tackle.
Yep. Sorry. So under the table that way this time. Okay, moving back into fishing. Okay, so we're coming up on the first hour, and I wanted to do this. I wanted to kind of draw it out to this time because we had a lot of stuff to talk about, and you nailed almost all of it. So let's move into the fun thing.
Yeah. wait, what hasn't been fun yet?
None of it. It's actually all been great.
Okay.
Right. Over your left. I think it's your left. Which one's your left? Yep. Cool. Yep. In black. Like, yeah. Damn it.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That one. There's a little sleeve right there.
Oh, that little guy.
Yeah. What's in the box?
Is Richard White still on?
I don't know. He might be. He only commented a little while ago. He wasn't. Yeah, he was here just a couple minutes ago.
Hold on. I'm glad.
Okay, everybody. So if you read the comments that were alluding to this, I hope you're ready because this is going to be glorious.
Are we ready? Do we do a countdown? You want a drum roll?
Ooh. We could go to commercial.
Do you do those?
No, but I mean, I could come up with one real quick. I don't know. I could like draw this out and make it weirder. It's like
let's do it. So we now have, if this works,
Ooh,
this.
What's that? What's
this
that?
is the Dagger go-to inshore freshwater series 7-foot one-piece rod. So we're going to take this out of this beautiful little bag. That's right. Let's get the dance going.
Yep. Boots and pants, boots and pants.
I know if my sister's listening, she's laughed at that one.
Larry Grossman just put in there, you just sold out.
So this is something that I've been working on. Well, it's never an I. There is a collective we when it comes to anything that we roll out, between product testers, walking up and meeting random people, trying things out, soliciting ideas from people that use things like this. So, I mean, there's a collective to it, but I will run it from the end up. So start here. You may recognize that style of grip. That is a wind grip. And it has a custom artwork done to it in our color. Then there's our traditional green. Then we move into the wind grip, which ultimately has our logo cut into the wind grip. One thing that you don't find too often, and I wanted to make sure that this was something incorporated into them, is we have the, Fuji TDS pass-through reel seats. So you actually have the blank, and it's hard to see in the light, but you actually have, this is tripping me out. My fingers are going the wrong direction. So you have your hosel or your blank right here. So when you're gripping it, you can't get any more sensitivity from it than being able to actually feel the blank.
Well, that's
then I wanted to do something where rods that don't have hook savers, this is personal for me. If you don't like it, you can take it off, but I don't warranty damage to the threads. But this is a foldable hook saver, so that for storage, travel, whatever you want to do, you can keep your hook off the guides. Something that I see a lot of people do that is something that I always wanted there to be a better way to do it, is just use a hook saver. And if you don't like it, collapse it, don't use it. That's okay. But it's there if you do want to use it and you want to protect your guides. And then switching over to, we've always been a big proponent for Fuji brand, single footed K-Wag Alkanite guides all the way down. And then fast forwarding, we used a slightly larger tip guide, if you can see that. Hey, look, it takes my whole forehead.
Yay!
I promise it's not that big, but it's big enough that if you're using shock leaders or anything like that, if you happen to get the shock knot past the first guide, it's not going to ruin your day. Not like a micro guide. And again, there's nothing wrong with a micro guide, but it just opens up a little more opportunity for you to be user friendly. And then the specs on it, I don't know if it's going to catch the specs.
It's not coming through. Hold on. I got 7 foot spinning. Yeah, I'm blind.
No, you're not blind. It's blurry.
All right, so 7 foot spinning. Now you probably have to tap the screen or something because it's focused on you. It is what it is. You're just gonna have to read it to us. Show us. So read it.
You've got the 7 foot one piece spinning rod. It is rated for 8 to 17 pounds. A 1/4 to a 3/4 ounce lure, medium, heavy, fast. And I'm not promoting it, but I have thrown heavier than 3/4 on it, and it's done just fine. And when you see the videos from Bama Beach Bum come out from Cape Cod, you'll see a lot of the striper that we caught in certain areas were on this rod right here.
So it'll take. So you're running. Is it dual rung? So I can run. Can I run both? What am I looking at?
The type of guides that are on it would allow you to do it, but the spacing will not allow you to do it. It is a spinning reel seated. It is meant to be set up as a spinning rod. So this one will be more dedicated, and it is specific as opposed to dual rung.
So Richard is here.
Hey, buddy.
I'll put an ounce on it.
I know you will. And Richard, don't worry. I even have blanks. I have the blanks for you as well.
There you go. So there you go, folks. That was one of the big reveals tonight. Was going to be the newest arsenal piece to the Ninja Tackle world, the 7-foot dagger, single piece that can run. You can play with it the salt too. It's not just a freshwater, but yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it's definitely, you want to throw it on the kayak. That was kind of the first intent for it. Or if you're, kayak fishing. If you're walking the beach, throwing some small stuff, flounder fishing. I know G2 Coastal, he's really looking forward to getting these in his hand. He does a lot of flounder fishing, so it'll be perfect for walking the beach on that. It's got a lot of versatile uses in both freshwater and saltwater applications.
So Larry Grossman came out with the ultimate comment. You ready?
Let's hear it. There it is. I like it, Larry. Let's get straight to it. So right before we went on to the podcast, we uploaded them to the website. They are going to retail.
Number count better not drop every. Oh, there it goes. The number count dropped. Oh,
did it really?
Was coming. You did.
How many were on and how many left?
35, 28.
Oh my goodness. No, this is not for selling stuff. This is just for getting to know us. But since he asked, we're going to answer a question. They're going to go for 180. A lot of your good inshore rods we see, they're in that 250 range. I just want to keep following in the same footsteps of what we did with the daggers. And I want to put a high quality product in my end user's hands for the best price I can offer.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. They are on ninjatackleVA.com. You can go over there. We're still going to be talking for a few minutes, so you can run it. I just accidentally backed over all of my 7-footers. This is
Larry. I love it. I love it, Larry. That is awesome.
That's it. True Braid. That's it. That is the big reveal. I didn't see a text come through for you. That's why I haven't said anything. So if there's more, you need to send me a text real quick so I can get it and look.
Who, me?
No, Alex. He posted in the comments there. But
you mean like
oh, that one.
You mean like a new 8'6" fishing rod that hasn't even hit the website yet?
I didn't know you were going to talk about that one, so I left it alone. But all right, let's do this.
There it is. So this one I haven't quite got uploaded yet, but 50-50 split rod. We used this a lot while we were in Cape Cod as well. A little bit heavier, and we don't have to talk a whole lot about it, but it's a 8'6", 50-50 split. It goes up to 1.5 ounces. Really, I was throwing a lot of 2-ounce stuff on it, and it was doing a fantastic job. Also set up for this one is actually set up for, I want to say it's dual rung, but the only real big difference on this one is it's a hybrid between the 7-foot and the rest of our rods, where most of our rods all run with double-footed K-Wag guides. This one, your first guide, the stripper guide, is a double-footed K-Wag, and then the rest of them are all single-foot. So that is just another arsenal, something for your arsenal on your lightweight fishing days, or if you want to have another option for casting lures, fishing from the pier, whatever the case may be. We found a need for that one as well, and we'll have that up on the website hopefully in the next day or so.
So the 3-piece is, I don't know why I thought it was 7. I don't know why I thought it was 8, because I remember we saw it.
Are you talking about my prototype I haven't told anybody about yet?
No, that rod.
The 8'6" is a 2-piece 50-50.
Oh, I thought you said 3. I'm sorry. No. I was like, what do you mean 3?
No, that's the other rod that I haven't really told anybody else about.
Sorry. I was like, we had discussions earlier about something, and that was not supposed to come up tonight. But okay, I'm down.
Yeah, well, there you go. Cat's out of the bag. That's the 2 new ones that are rolling out here for the spring. But the 7-foot inshore style one, that was probably the one that everybody was looking most forward to, especially me.
Yes, I have too. I mean, the 7-footer with a 1-piece. I only have one 7-footer solid, if I remember correctly. That's my Mojo. Probably one of my favorite rods, Mojo Bass. Absolutely love that rod. It's been one of my favorites. Justin and I, we fished the Causeway and in the kayaks with it, and it has just been versatile on everything from a paddle tail to jerk baits, even rolling through. Oh, Richard, I haven't forgot about that, Richard. I will ask that here in a second. So the 7-foot, as I can see, being so versatile in all those pieces because you can hit both markets. And you mean fresh and salt, it's going to be solid. And the tip on it, from what we were talking about, the tip was faster.
It's fast action. Yeah, medium heavy fast action.
Right. So all of that's going to go. Justin, let's go tonight. We'll see. I'm tired. I'll admit it. Okay. So the question that Richard asked, price point on the 8'6".
It'll be below 200.
And when's that one going on the website? A couple days.
Should be up tomorrow.
There you go. All right. So here we go. So now you've had 2 rod reveals tonight. One I didn't really know about, and now I'm even more excited.
Surprise!
What up? So I might have to be getting 2 rods tonight. All right. So after the show, everybody, make sure you head on over to ninjatackleva.com and go ahead and order your rods. He does have them in stock for now until the end of the show.
For now, I think they're gonna go kind of quick.
I think they might. The count has started to slowly come back up, so that's telling me people have ordered and come back already, which is good.
They may have here. I'll tell you in just a second. Actually, let's see.
Chris, as far as the blanks and all that stuff, you guys can. We won't go into that one on here if that's all right. You guys can link up on that one after if you don't mind.
We have blanks. There you
go. Okay, so this is why I love live, because you can get a little bit interactive when it comes into this. All right. So moving into, now that we have new rods to go by tonight, and this is also why I told you all to have your credit cards and PayPal handy. There was a reason for it, I promise. And I have a second reason for that as well. So our episode tonight is sponsored by True Braid. There will be, at the end of the show, a code that will come out. Look at that pretty little line. There will be a code that comes out from True Braid for a limited time, as in limited as in we're talking a couple hours here. So if you're on the live, you're the only ones that are going to hear this. And if you're listening to this on Friday, you're not going to get it. So Alex and I are kind of texting in the background here, and I know he's watching. So I'll let you know when to drop it. But True Braid will drop a limited time order availability for lines. Okay. Yep. He's got me. And you can use that new one to spool up your new dagger.
I can. Alex, can we discuss anything else that may be coming out from you here in a minute that might go well with the dagger?
I almost want to send him a link and have him jump on the live while he's sitting in his living room, completely unprepared and unaware.
It's something that I requested, and I was very persistent about requesting. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say what it is yet or not. Has he responded yet?
He just put, I'm not watching. So I'm not sure what he's doing here. Lime green. Actually, John, you bring up a great one. John just brought it up, lime green braid. If you hadn't heard, the new color just came out the other day. A little bit of Smitty surf fishing-esque love. Hot pink.
Hot pink. Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty too. It is real pretty.
Alex may be helping us fill some gaps with some lower pound test for said 7-foot rods.
I noticed yesterday on truebraid.com that there was a few 10-pound of the variety available and the 15-pound variety available.
There you go. There we go. All right, so there it is. Cat's out of the bag. We asked for that, and again, why I like working with people like Alex and Joe and Bama and just all the gamut of everybody that we work with is we can have those relationships and work together on something versus if I called Berkeley and said, hey, I need this, I'm not even going to get a phone call back. Let alone being able to speak directly to the owner and designer of something and say, hey, I want this. And they do it. I mean, it's working together, and I wouldn't have that with a brick and mortar.
No, and that's the cool. I think it's overlooked. Um, if you're not in like what we do, the talking and all these pieces, we all really do talk to each other quite a bit, and we really work together and try to make things more. And if you're if you're not doing what we do here, you don't always see that. But on that same note, all the people that aren't in this industry and don't do YouTube or any of that stuff, that don't have into the text groups, you post stuff on Facebook. A lot of us watch it, see it, and talk about it to make it a reality.
Yeah.
Because those pieces really matter. Your ideas are great. They really work. And if you can't get what you want, how can who do I ask about it? If you put it out there, one of the people are going to hear it, and somebody's going to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I've loved the network from being so small. Frisky Fins, Alex, and I'm probably going to forget somebody, but obviously Bama, I mentioned him. Bearded Brad, being able to work with him. Jared from G2 Coastal. Jordan, G2 Coastal. You're getting ready to get a comment about that. Having met with cameraman Ron and angler up with Brent and Perdido Blaine, just being able to work with all of these people on a small scale and network more like a family, is a tight group of friends, almost family. It's rewarding in itself to be able to do that.
Yeah. So,
of course, obviously.
One question that just came in from Richard Matt: can braid be used on the 7-foot and 8-foot sticks?
Absolutely. Designed them with the intent for them to be used predominantly with braid.
Okay. And then both rods were 7 to 14 pound. What was the test line again? I can't remember.
7-footer. I don't know. I can't remember all my own stuff. That's why I have to write. That's why I have to write it on the fishing rods.
Oh, before you do that,
8 to 17.
8 to 17. 8 pound to 17. So if you do this order thing that we're going to talk about here in about just a couple seconds, you will be fine. It is now an hour and 17 minutes into the show. That means it is your third and final bait check. Hey, there's an order. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure you pick that up, check that bait, make sure it is good to go. This bait check has been brought to you by Rogue Reels. Rogue Reels Fishing has a bunch of really cool pieces of gear and rigs to take a look at for shark and surf, and a bunch of other ones, not to mention line cutters. He has those in stock. Really cool things to take a look at. So thank you, Rob, from Rogue Reels, for sponsoring. I appreciate you. I'm always happy to hear you. Josh Barfield had to hop off and order a 7-footer. Yep.
I was getting ready to say, can we give a name drop? I was going to say Josh Barfield just ordered the first one off of our website. So we'll see if we can't throw a couple cool things in there for you, Josh. I really appreciate it.
That's good stuff, Josh. Way to go. Beat me to it. I appreciate you on that. All right, Alex, I know you're listening, and I got your text. Go ahead and drop that in the comments, and I will spew it out, because that's going to be the adding piece to this for the last set of questions. So we got a little bit off topic. This is like a regular, genuine live like we do on Panhandle Fishing Report. Mike and I love to talk. We're good at
that. I would much rather be it this way. I know if we didn't do it this way, Bama was probably going to call me and give me a bunch of crap.
I structured him too much. I should have let him free ran a little bit more.
No, he challenged me after he did his. He's like, yeah. He took his he took his podcast at a medium pace, so we want to step it up a little bit.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the podcast with him. I really did. Genuine dude, great, really fun to talk to. I very much so enjoyed recording with him, and I will always be thankful for that he gave me the time and he gave everyone. So I'm glad that he could mess with you about it. That's what really matters to me.
Mm-hmm. I hope he hears this.
He will. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, in order to not lose more viewers, but here you go. If you go to truebraid.com, Ninja Demo 40, Ninja Demo 40.
Oh,
you will get 40% off any True Braid order until midnight tonight. That is June 1st. That's it. Ninja Demo 40. is your code. 40% off tonight on an order of True Braid. So if
Well
you've been
done,
waiting,
Alex.
here you go. And thank you, Alex. Seriously, I can't say I can't say more good things about you, bud. I wish I could, but I can't. And I look forward to when our episode drops. We will do one that we have already talked about it. That is going to happen. I am very excited about that. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You have till midnight tonight. That is East Coast time. So you got a couple of more hours left. Make sure that you go ahead and get in there. Again, Ninja Demo 40 for 40% off any True Braid order. Might be ordering some tonight. Boy, I hope Jen's not looking at the account because there's going to be a lot of money that walks away.
I was going to say, and that discount code applies to his website, not mine.
Yes, not yours. And the number count just dropped again.
Yeah. Are the numbers dropping because they're going to look at this stuff on the websites, or they just don't want to hear about it?
It could be either. I mean, they could be like, you guys are just rambling. You're not talking fishing anymore.
Oh, that's right. All right, let's do some fishing. Here we go. What are we talking about?
All right. So what has been your biggest lesson learned in your industry?
Burning bridges.
Ooh.
I feel like when you're a small family company and you're working with other small family companies, in corporate world, I learned just how devastating burning bridges could be. So that was something that I wouldn't say that I've learned it in the fact that I've burned any bridges that I'm aware of now, but it is something that I hold wholeheartedly to some of my business practices and making sure that I keep all lines of communication open, and really just try to stay away from burning any bridges and establishing better relationships.
You're good, man. Where is your favorite place to fish? And I need GPS coordinates.
So for almost 20 years, it's been the Outer Banks. And it still probably will be the Outer Banks. We catch a lot of the same fish that we've caught in other places. I will say, though, that in the last 5 weeks, having fished Alabama, having fished Florida, having fished Cape Cod, and being presented with opportunities that honestly wouldn't have otherwise been presented. I said that, John. If it weren't for some of these other opportunities, I don't know if it's so much of a favorite place or is it having the opportunity to fish different places now. Before I'd tell you certain places that I like to fish in the Outer Banks. Like, I mean, there's certain places I know if I'm looking for dinner, I know where I can go to grab dinner. If I'm looking to fish for fun, I can do that too. It's tough to say now. I never really had, having worked so much in the corporate world and then doing this at nights and weekends, I never had the opportunity to experience a lot of new places. I think just experiencing new places in general has kind of become addicting, to be quite honest. Trying to go somewhere you've never been, figure it out, get a collective group thought thing going together, and flipping coins. Do you go this way or do you go this way?
So now you're gonna have to find out something. I mean, you've hit the New England fishery.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a fun one. Outer Banks, another dream place for many people. I mean, seriously, many people want to go to the Outer Banks. You've hit two of the major dream spots, and now Florida. You've started playing very heavily into that. You played up and down here, and hell, you've got South Florida on the list to go with that. So now it's Texas and then the West Coast.
I would absolutely love to go to Texas and try some stuff out there. While I was down there, one of the opportunities, or one of the people that I got the opportunities to meet and spend a lot of time with was Wyatt from Salt Strong. Mm-hmm. He's from Texas, so talked a lot about their fishery and a lot of cool stuff that they do. He does a lot of wade fishing, apparently. Something I'm just trying to learn. I wouldn't mind going down there and trying that with him.
Yeah, I like what?
Yeah,
really super smart and a great dude.
Really he is. Dude. He is. He's the
Jim
only
Morris,
person I know that can literally fall asleep on the beach in the middle of a group of guys in the middle of a conversation.
he did actually. That's like, yeah, I did. I remember that. A couple of them here. So Jim Morrison. Jim Morrison actually has been shooting me some text messages back and forth. He's in Ohio. He runs down there quite a bit, and he's taking his daggers out. But he's definitely shown me some fun stuff with his. He loves it down there.
Dude, Jim, thank you. I was gonna say Jersey's definitely something that I'm great at taking notes. Oh, yep, I hear you, Mikey. I say I can't even get you to take time off from work to go with me for a weekend down to Hatteras. Let's start there. Okay,
let's start small.
let's start small. Jim, I appreciate it, man. I really look forward to seeing some of those pictures. Absolutely.
Barry's another.
Apparently, we need to go to Jersey.
You might have to.
I'm sorry, Barry. We drove straight past you guys.
No, Barry is one of the guides over in Jack's. Love hanging out with Barry. We got an episode planning on there. He just warned him. He let him know. Like,
I really appreciate it, Barry. Thank you.
Group trip. Road trip.
John, are we down for a road trip? Matt, you're listening? Are we down for a road trip? Who's down?
That'd be fun. All right. So here we go with last two. What do you wish a new angler would do before starting their journey into surf fishing?
Okay. Great question. Really, it kind of goes back to something I touched about earlier. Homework and research. There's so much information out there now that wasn't out there 10 years ago. You have YouTube, you have Google, you have, even your podcast. It's doing the research, picking a target species, and more or less showing up prepared. And the only reason that I suggest that is because it's going to make your trip more successful. Another great resource is going to the tackle stores, the local tackle stores, asking them what's biting. Fish for what's there. You may be fishing at a certain time of the year and you may want this big particular fish. Well, they may have migrated out. They may not be there yet. They may already be gone. There's always fish there. I highly suggest study what's in the area that you're going, and then prep your tackle to fish for that particular species or a handful of species, and for me, that was a hard lesson to learn for a lot of years because I didn't understand how fish migrated. I didn't understand that a 7-foot black tip shark really doesn't care if it's got a number 2 hook in his mouth. Same thing. It's, fishing with 7/0 hooks, 9/0 hooks. If the predominant fish in the water is pompano, then put on a smaller hook. Smaller hooks can catch bigger fish. And sometimes if you're out to catch fish, that's all you really need. But from a prep standpoint, and you don't have to go buy a bunch of tackle. And I definitely don't say you have to go buy any of the daggers or anything like that. There's a lot of really good rod reel combos out there for less than $100. Pick you up 1 or 2 of those and try it. See if you like it. You may not like it. If you do like it, then you can upgrade from there.
Oh, Tony just jumped on with one. Wanted to say, Matt, thanks for making the trip and coming down here to Pompano Showdown. It was a long haul, but it meant a lot to the Panhandle Anglers, which we know it did. Seeing you fishing with you and having you at the weigh-in was a blessing. I'm sure we'll see you again. We will.
We will definitely see each other again. I'm looking forward to that one particular video.
Okay. So,
that's okay. He told me he's got a video coming out. It's a near and dear video to me. I don't want to burst the bubble.
Larry also won his dagger, and he has been crushing with it.
Oh, Larry was the one that won it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Larry Grossman.
Oh, Larry, I'm sorry, man. If I'd have known that was you, I saw you collected at the show. I didn't know that was you. I would have definitely liked to. Honestly, I'd like to have been the one to hand it out.
Barry, His wife has the lady dagger. Oh, we should have talked about that. The
Yes.
pink monster. That thing is outstanding.
That's a very, very, very pretty rod. Exact same rod as our 11-foot spinners. I'm sorry they're not up on our website yet. Honestly, I'm selling them faster than we can get them on the website just through word of mouth. But it is a very, very pretty colored rod.
It is. It is. All right. So we've covered a ton today. You've unveiled two amazing things, two amazing rods. We've got a lot of fun stuff to go by right after this. So we're going to go ahead and close this out. Any final closing thoughts that you have tonight on fishing and running and tackle?
I tell people all the time, you can't catch fish from your couch. And if you're playing a video game, they don't count. So
TikTok.
It's no, I mean, I say get out there and do it. Yeah. Is that Abby? Hi, Abby.
Still recording. Yes. Yeah, that's Abby.
Hi, Abby. No, I say get out there and do it. Socialize, use the network. There's something that I learned about saltwater fishing a long time ago that is different from a lot of other fishing. Unfortunately, freshwater fishing as well. The community that revolves around surf fishing is very much a help you kind of community. It is not uncommon for somebody to come out to you and want to help you, want to do something for you. So it was a great way to meet new friends, pick up a new experience, and get some time and spend it outside. You know, take your loved ones out there and just go do it. Go do it.
Well, I appreciate you, brother, and I appreciate you coming on and recording with this whole episode with me. I know it's been a long time coming, and I'm very thankful that you gave it all of us the time with all the knowledge that you shared, and especially for everything you've done through Ninja Tackle for all of us. So thank you.
No, and I can't thank you guys enough. I'll be honest. Any order of any size, we're not a big company. We don't have a big warehouse. It's there's not a lot of employees that are running this. It's a very infant business, and we can't do any of it without you guys. And honestly, from my family to everybody, we appreciate it more than you know.
Thanks. All right, don't hang up. Obviously, you're going back into the green room for a minute, and we'll talk after.
Got it.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this was an 1.5 hour episode. I apologize partially, not completely. It was a great one. Excellent episode. Matt gave us a ton of knowledge. I hope you were able to get a bunch from it. As you heard, 2 new rods available for you on ninjatackleva.com. And also TrueBraid is hooking it up as well tonight with a huge discount to get yourself all spooled up for those new rods. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your time and everything that you've given us tonight. I got nothing bad to say, but I'm loving it, man. So have a great night. You've been listening to Finding Demo Surf Fishing. I'm out.